Even not. Right. Some of you have seen on my Instagram that I was rather excited this morning because an upgrade kit for my MB03 Well VSR clone sniper rifle arrived. Slight change of plan. Yes, the upgrade kit arrived. It's all shiny and pretty. But it won't work. I need to order a new sear. I thought I had the right sear. I don't. So instead, I'm going to do a wee review on it, of the sniper rifle, and then I'm going to change out the stock spring that it's still got in it for the upgrade spring anyway. So if I break it, I've got the parts anyway. Right, so first off, naturally it didn't come like this. It came, well, when I ordered it, I had the option of, the only ones they had was red or the faux wood stock. And I thought, I'm not paying £15 extra for the red one when the faux wood stock would do me. And I used the grey matter up here, thinking if I didn't spray it, I could keep it brown. It looked quite pretty, but as you can see, I had a play. All this was done with was sprayed it black and then a bit of foliage and green and just sprayed over that. The scope cover and barrel cover came courtesy of one of my teammates, and I can't get the bloody thing off now, who made this for me, or made them for me rather, just to break up the outline. You don't need them if you're going to snipe, but just scrim netting with some foliage on it. Let's spin this round. Take my barrel shroud off, and all it's done is retained with elastic bands onto front and back of the scope and onto the underside of my bipod. Again, I know there's a fair few of you snipers out there who prefer not to run bipods. I personally wouldn't be without it. Now, this out the box is actually a pretty damn decent sniper rifle. Now obviously out the box it doesn't come with the scope or the bipod. The scope was about £25 I think from Amazon. It's a 3x9x40. You don't really need anything more than that. It's a XL van, if you get a bit closer, if any of you are interested in it. And I did have to order lower profile mounts because the ones it came with had the underside, get my fingers out of the way, the underside of that there front scope was up here somewhere, which is just way too high for my liking. I like it as close to the barrel as possible, making it a lot easier to be zeroed in. And the bipod is the sort that will fit. You can, I cocked up with this. I bought a Picatinny mount adapter for it because the MB03 comes with a Picatinny rail that fits there, but it also comes with a sling swivel mount as well. And this will attach straight onto a sling swivel mount, no issues whatsoever. Now, out the box, completely stock. This fired at 1.2s, I think it was 430 FPS, which, as I said, what, 70 quid sniper rifle out the box, ain't bad at all. Not the best on the planet, but certainly not the worst. But one thing, if you do buy the MB03, if you don't know enough to take the barrel out, get somebody who does, but take the barrel out and give it a damn good cleaning, because they are, I do believe they're made in Taiwan, so they're shipped over and the barrel is full of grease and oil and stuff to stop it from corroding. And the first, I'd say 100, 200 shots, if you don't do that, will be crap. I cleaned my barrel out after about 10, 15 shots after being told myself, you know, clean the barrel out, it will perform better. And the FPS jumped up from, when it came out of the box without degreasing it, it was about, what, just under 400, cleaned it out, and because there was no resistance with all the crap in the barrel, it jumped up to 430. However, I have actually had a play with this, and I've done bits and bobs to it. Trigger group has been upgraded. I've just got the wrong sear. The hop unit, hop nub, and all that gumph has been upgraded. The barrel was, I think, I haven't measured it, I haven't got any cantilevers to measure it properly, but I think it was a 6.05 or a 6.03, one of them. Brass barrel. I've actually upgraded this to a full length 6.01 tight bore barrel. And just with those few modifications, getting ready for the upgraded bits that I can't put in, that brought it up to 470 on 0.2s. Now I use 0.4s. The hop will actually handle 0.4s. There have been a few people saying that they won't hop them, but I found they hop them. It slings them pretty damn well, and they sound pretty scary when they come whizzing past your head. Not that I've had anybody shoot my sniper rifle up my head. Honest, Bonza. Anywho, right, I'm going to tear this down, and I'm going to put the upgraded spring in it. I can't chrono it tonight, but one of my teammates is popping over in the next couple of days because he's got the chrono I normally use. So, I'll show you how to tear this down as well. It's dead easy. Don't need to take the sights or the bipod off. It's fairly simple. So, flip this over. Obviously, not having to take the scope off and everything is much easier because it means you ain't got to zero it every time you do any work to your gun. So, I'm going to move my camera actually. Lose my chair and move my camera, so I'm going to point this down to you a little bit. Now you can see a wee bit better what I'm doing now. Right, there we go. Right, Allen key. It is 2 Allen key bolts on the bottom. Some, depending on the one you can get the MB01, MB02, MB03, MB04, MB05 and 6 I think. Some of them have got 3 Allen key bolts on the base to undo, to split the barrel and the lower, but this one's 2, and they are quite helpful because in the front is a short Allen key bolt or Allen wrench bolt, whatever you want to call them, and in the rear, he says, I'm already splitting it apart. There we go. In the rear is there we go. Is a longer one. Done with that for now. As you can see, probably just about in there somewhere. You can just see there's still a bit of brown in there where I didn't quite get it all, but that, for now, is done with that out of the way. Right, don't need my Allen wrench now. Right, this bit can be fiddly, but don't be afraid, it is still fairly simple. Large screw at the back on the floor. Large screw at the back. See why I got more screwdrivers there. Large screw at the back of the trigger guard. Just allows that to go up and slide backwards and off. And there's 2 little screws. I'll bring this up to you so you can see. There's one there and one in the back here. Take those 2 out. Now there are actually 2 ways to take the bolt release out of this, which I will show you. Either one's fine, but the way I'm doing it is, in my opinion, less faffing about. So, what you can do, I'm going to lose the chair again. I really should stop hanging things on the back of there. Just here, there is a little peg which you can flick up, which, oh, there we go, off we go, which pulls the whole kit and caboodle out. Shite. Which, there we go, bring it up to you again. Mine's a bit tight because I don't do it very often. We'll just pop that out, which will allow you to pull the bolt out, but as you can tell, mine was quite stiff because I do it the way it ended up doing anyway, which is just undo those 2 screws, pull the whole trigger assembly and sear and everything up together. Now we've done that bit, all you do Bolt as if you was going to cycle the bolt and slide all the way out. No, we don't need that bit for now. Now, mine, I've mucked about, which is why I know this won't work today, so I haven't actually done it up properly tight, but, in fact, let me get this so I can clean it off a minute. Right. Oh, shiny, shiny. Right. A lot of people, there are some places that will sell a special tool for doing it, but what even the likes of Nofrich and several other YouTube videos have shown is needle nose pliers just into those two little dots there, like that, and then it will twist open. But obviously, like I said, I've already loosened mine off earlier because before I decided to shoot a video, I thought I'd test fit these, and they don't fit. So, fairly simple. It's a nice fit. So I've already changed the rubber around the top of there. I've put a slightly better one on there, so the air seal is a better seal rather than mucking about, because I can't put the better debris in. Now, as you can see, that spring is the original, and then we put this spring next to it, he says. Yeah, the size difference. I wonder if you can see the size difference for standing on the table. There is a slight size difference in there. This one is slightly longer. This is a 140, I think. It's the stock spring anyway. The internals of the cylinder I'd never upgraded other than putting the better air seal in it. So this one is a, what is it? What does the box say it is? It doesn't say. That's really useful. Oh yeah, in case you want to know, the brand, now I'm not affiliated or sponsored or anything by these, but I got these from, these were off of Amazon again, but it's a company called PPS, and it says that this is for the L96, the MB01, MB04, MB03, MB01, MB03, MB04 and MB05, but if you get it for the MB03, you need the matching sear. This one, the one in it is a 90, this is a 45. I've just cocked up and got the wrong one basically. But it says on the back of here that if you stick this in with the spring and everything, depending on other parts, it can push it up to between 5 and 550 FPS. Now, in the UK, you're close, but I mean the site I use takes it up to 500 maximum, so you got to be careful there. Some of the other places, I think US, you can have higher, so it's not an issue. I know Japan and areas like that, I think, I'm fairly certain they're lower, but you have to be fairly careful. But PPS, just type in MB03 or MB04 or whatever if you've got one of these rifles for the upgrades, and you'll get the right one. But like I say again, be careful. Do a bit of research first to check what sear you require, because otherwise you'll end up like me and get the wrong one. I'll probably end up just upgrading this with a different set and use this for, some of you might remember the SAWTF. I might have a play with the insides of that because that's got L96 internals. Insides. Right, now this has got some dirty old grease on it because it's been in der gun for a while, so I'm going to clean some of this crud off, and that's that. I don't do the spring because the spring's brand spanking new. Now, some people use 3-in-1 or 4-in-1 or 5-in-1, whatever. Don't use WD-40. Not good. What I personally use is PMA silicone lube. Lubricate and prevents cracking used on metals, plastics, rubber, most hard and impervious surfaces. This stuff I use on everything, even on me GBB pistols, on me non-blowback pistols as well actually. It's about a £5 for a litre and it's bloody good. So it's going to give everything a wee liberal coating. Lubricates table too. Should have really put a cloth down first, but leaves a nice, even coat on that. I'm going to spray that down to one side actually. Ooh. Oh, lovely. And I should do this as well. It just stops everything from binding up and gives it that nice layer of lubricant that in your face, that'll allow everything to move nicely. And like I say, because it's a spray, it's not too thick a coating, so it makes things a wee bit easier. Best spray a bit in there as well, just to make sure everything comes together nicely. Probably couldn't hear a word I was saying, but anyway. Right, let's put this back together. Well, as long as it goes in spring guide spring and then the piston, you know, however you do it, there's no right or wrong way, but as long as they go in the right orientation, it doesn't matter. This is where it gets a wee bit fiddly. In fact, actually, let me pop that down a minute because I want to stick it on the threads of that. Yeah, this is where it gets a bit dicey. Let me shift that out of the way. Right, because naturally that's now under tension, and I've put a slightly larger O-ring on the top of the piston, so you've got to be careful not to pinch it when you pop it down. So that's where you need, like, to be an octopus with about 12 teen hands. Just make sure it's all in and not pinched. This is where it gets iffy, and this is where that tool that some of them sell, some places sell, comes in useful, because it allows you to hold the cylinder and the cylinder head all in line and alleviates some of the risk of it going ping across the room, which naturally wouldn't be a good thing. Just need to nib that up, so in here somewhere I should have. You can tell I've used my toolbox recently because nothing's where it's meant to be. Everything but what I want. Of course. Oh dear, and I'm dying as well. Sorry. Let's do it this way instead then. It's not going to open up anyway. Right. Now for the reassembly, yeah? That's the only problem with this particular silicone grease. It leaves a nice sheen on the table, but it gets bloody everywhere because it's a spray and I'm breathing it in. It smells nice though. Right. That's a bit loose actually. I'm just going to... Ignore me, I'm doing something that's not actually anything to do with what I'm actually doing now. Get the better screwdriver for this. Right. That's right, me barrel was a bit loose, which is not good, because if the barrel moves around, nothing's right. Right, give that a wee bit of a clean. Now your silicone spray back. Give it a... Now if you do what I've just done, try not to spray too much that way, because you'll spray it straight to the hop unit and create a few issues when you're trying to feed babies. But as long as it's only a wee coat, you should be fine. Me, I just like everything to go together smoothly and not make any horrible noises when it goes together. Nice. Like a glove. Right. Another wee fiddly bit. You need to bring the bolt round so it's not quite all the way engaged, as you can see. That's fully engaged, but stand up again. Right, as you can see, look in there, if it's fully engaged, it's completely blanked off. But if you bring it around to there, see the hole just... That was smart. Hang on. Try that again, after dropping it. Let me get me pointy stick. Right. Ooh. You see, just in there's a little hole. That's where the seal will re-engage when we put it back together, which is just in a second. So, try not to drop the cylinder and everything back on the floor again. Make sure nothing's broken. Okay, right, bring that back around. Now, oh, that's right, okay. There's your sear to drop in, and sometimes you might need to just pop a screwdriver in the hole in the front, that one there, just to bring the spring tension that way a bit so the sear will drop in the back, because otherwise it's pushing on the sear and then you've got to proper force it in. I did that the first couple of times, I just smacked it with a hammer and then thought, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But you live and learn, don't you? And that's why Muppets like me exist, because then we help to show you. Here we go. And tighten the two little screws back up. The monotonous bit. Doing all the screws back up and everything. Like I say, if any of you are wondering where to get the MB03 or 4 or whatever from fairly cheap, there's pretty much only one site I actually use for me airsoft guns. I use other sites for different stuff like BBs and parts and whatnot, but mainly for riffs I pretty much only use Patrol Base. And this one was, what was it? It was about £70. I'm not quite sure what that is in dollars. I think it's about $120, something like that, including delivery from them. Worked out to be about a £5 delivery from Patrol Base to the UK. Again, like I say, another company I'm not affiliated with, I'm not endorsed by or anything like that, but they've got my seal of approval. I've never had an issue with them. In fact, I've got 2 orders coming from them tomorrow. Not guns this time. I've got 26 at the minute. That's enough for now. It's parts and ammo and stuff. In fact, no, the ammo's not coming from them. The ammo's coming from somewhere else. But I've got a really big magazine. And some other bits and bobs coming from them. But that will be, I'll show you that. That magazine's quite funky. Right, let's stick that back up that there. Fairly simple to put back together, as you can see, all the trigger assembly and everything, and I'll just show you. It does still work. Try not to kill my fingers. And oh, that sounds loud and bangy now. Right. Now, obviously, knowing my luck, it will be firing too hot when I get to site, and I'll have to change the spring out. So I'm going to do the smart thing, and I'm going to take the spare spring with me. Don't trap your finger when you attach the upper and the lower. Anywho, right, that's all there. Stick it on safe. Even though there's no mag in it, it's always better to keep it on safe if you're not planning on firing. Right. Get my hand key back out. Yeah, I know a lot of you have probably turned off by now going, you boring bastard. Waffling on about absolute crap. I know. That's what I do. That's why some of you tune in. But, like I say, this is just my little show and breakdown of upgrading the MB03. I say it's a VSR clone. A lot of VSR parts will actually just bolt straight onto this. Like I say, you just have to be careful with things like sears, and you have to be careful how crazy you go, because the cylinder, I mean, this cylinder is an upgraded cylinder, of course, but the stock cylinder isn't actually designed for really high power. I mean, it's put in there to withstand what it's built with. Like I say, that's why all the hop, the cylinder, the rubber, the knob, the barrel, I said knob before any of you say anything, the barrel, the trigger assembly and everything had all been pre-upgraded, ready for the piston and spring and everything. But like I say, if the internals break this time round, they break this time round. All I've got to do is order a sear, and I'm I break up for Christmas from Airsoft after the end of this week, so I won't be actually going out anywhere to play until probably about March, so I've got plenty of time to repair it. Back to the actual bit of a review. It's got a nice little rubberised bot pad. It is a bit of a plasticky rubber, by the way. I mean, in fact, you can probably pull it off, or probably not because I've painted around it. But it's comfortable enough to shoulder. I mean, I'm a lefty, as you can probably tell, and it's comfortable enough. Trigger's nice and responsive. It's not particularly heavy either. I mean, it's a bit. I mean, the balance point is there, and obviously I've got the optics and the bipod on the front, but the balance point is right about where the trigger is. So if you're holding it against your shoulder, it's not front end heavy and throwing your aim off. But I'm saying that if you stick your hand just in front of the trigger guard and you've got it nice and shouldered, it ain't going nowhere, and you can. It's got quite a simple, nice, easy trigger bolt pull on it as well. Some younger players might struggle, especially with the spring that I've just put in it. But with the stock spring, younger players won't actually struggle too bad with it. I mean, I ran a crazy sniper rifle I built myself that fired at 490 FPS and has got a 170 AEG spring in it. It's like a suspension spring, and that thing's difficult to pull back. But this, plus you're not actually fighting the spring once you've done that. I mean, and it won't fire, so you've got to push it all the way in. And as you can see, I was waiting for that to happen. When you got one of these, you've got to be careful. If you don't push it all the way forward, it doesn't engage fully. So you've got to and shake your table. Hop up on this is the stand back up again. See, just here, there's a little. Where I've lost it. There we go. Just here, I'll bring it right up to you. There we go. There's a little knob sticking up. It slides backwards and forwards to adjust your hop. Really? So obviously, back for lower hop, forwards for more. Magazine release is a little button just there. I'll turn it there. There you go. That little button there. Magazine fits in there. I've only tried a couple of different magazines in this. No issues. One magazine I've got, the clip where it actually on the front it clips in here isn't quite wide enough, but the friction fits it perfectly well. Doesn't drop out. Feeds absolutely fine. And because it's got the little depressions here, you just pull it back out again. It's not an issue at all. But yeah. Oh yes, on the back. I've taken them off because I don't run this with a sling at all, but on the back you've got a sling point here. I'll say I've taken mine off. Sling point here. You normally have a sling point on the front along with the Picatinny rail. Obviously I'm just using the sling point for my bipod. Again, I don't know if I said that earlier in the video, but again the bipod was, I think that was about 15-20 quid off of, that was eBay. And that was including the Picatinny rail adapter, which I'm not using. But yeah, all in all, including upgrades and everything, you're probably looking, that's cost me 70, 90, I'd say about 120 quid total, all in. And it's not let me down yet. And it's got some decent range and decent power on it. I mean, like I say, until I put that new spring in it, it was firing at 470. I've gone up by, I think it's about, what was it I said? I think it was 140. I think I've gone up to about 160. So I might be firing over, but if I'm not, I'm going to be damn close. But that's the general idea. So, oops, I'll be chronoing that as soon as my buddy old pal, old friend for life, appears with the chrono. I've got to play with his guns as well and help sort them out for him. With any luck, I'll be out shooting his Dragon off that I helped to build him, that fires at 490. He might let me show you this on this channel at some point, if he's playing nice. But anyway, yeah, more things to come. Game day footage as of, well, next Monday. I'll be uploading game day footage because I'm going for the last game of our team's season as a team. Anyway, I think one of the lads is going at least twice more this year, but me personally and a couple of others, will be our last for the year. But there'll be game footage coming Monday from this weekend. There will be update on the L85 pistol. Once I get my head around that, obviously that'll be something I'll finish over the winter shutdown, because I won't be out airsofting and repairing guns that have broken. Whilst I'm trying to do other things, so I'll be finishing that. Then there's the two other at the moment, SA80 builds for now, depending on when I can get the parts and get them cheap. But yeah, for now, thanks for watching.